Easy, James here. Now this is not a tutorial or a how-to or anything like that. I just want to quickly show you something, okay, a dilemma, which hopefully by the end of this video I would have fixed, okay, but just to show you how very little things can make a big difference when it comes to electronics, okay. Now, down here I've got my Technics turntables. If you watch any of my videos you'll know about them things. They've been stripped apart more times than a Lego set. And I think, to be honest, it's starting to show, as I thought, right, fancy a bit of a mix. I thought, right, crank up the old wheels of steel, and I thought I was going to have a bit of a spin up. Turned that deck on, and both the 45 and the 33 light came on, and it started spinning up like mentally fast. And I thought, oh shit, that's not a good sign. So I switched it off, switched it back on again, and it didn't turn back on. And as you can see now, it's plugged in, the power's not on, okay, nothing. No target light, nothing. It's completely dead. So I thought, right, okay, not turning on altogether is a better sign than the thing actually flidding out like that. That's just not right. So I thought, right, okay, I'll do a bit of fault finding. So I was looking around, and I'm going to put the camera in macro mode, bear with me. So got the old multimeter out, and I started doing a bit of testing, a bit of fault finding, and I noticed these things. Now these are non-original transistors. The original transistors for these should have been little Panasonic units, okay, that are in here. These are obviously not original Panasonic. These, I believe, are probably Fairchild, and they are BC546, so they're just standard NPN transistors. However, I was doing a few testing around here, and look, resistors come off. So I suspect that is probably what's going to cause the problem, because these transistors here regulate and control the voltage going to this transistor here, which controls the power for the deck. This is the main voltage regulator for the whole deck, and these ones are basically, they just control the voltage to that. They control what that outputs, okay. So if these are dead, that's dead, the whole deck's dead, okay. So I'm actually going to solder this resistor back in. I've looked at the data sheets for these things, and they seem to match up very well. The HFE values are pretty much the same, and they can take the same rated current and voltage and everything. So I'm going to leave them, okay. I'm just going to solder that resistor back on, and we'll see if it sorts the problem. So again, not a tutorial. Oh, sorry, camera blurry. So there you go, not a tutorial, not a how-to or anything like that, but you know, what I suspect may have happened there is the guy that I brought these off has obviously done a repair there, okay, or he's taken it to someone who's done a repair for him, and what I suspect is their soldering may not have been up to scratch, and that's why that resistor's come off. I'm suspecting he may have overheated the board and maybe caused a dry joint on that, and that's why it's come off. These things generally are very well built, and the soldering quality on these things are normally top notch, so that shouldn't have come off like that, okay. So let me just solder this back on, and we'll see if it sorts the problem, okay. Just going to quickly take the board out now. Now the reason why I never really noticed about those transistors, because whenever I've done videos and stuff, I've always done it on that deck, okay. So I've never really had this, I've very rarely had this one apart, to be honest. So that's probably why I never really noticed those transistors. So I'm hoping that it's not the fact that those transistors, because they're not the right ones, have actually done damage to the rest of the board. But generally speaking, those bipolar junction transistors, as long as the HFE value is almost the same, they're normally okay. They don't normally cause a problem. So, but hey, we'll see. So I may be needing a quite more severe repair. I'll probably just replace that resistor, to be honest, just for peace of mind. I mean, the resistor itself is probably going to be a bit dodgy if the board's been overheated, but we'll see how good this guy's soldering is when I take the board out. So I'm just going to take this out now, and I'm going to pause the camera just to save some tape on this thing. Right, first impressions, not good. Let me show you why. Right, look at this. You see, these are good solder joints. You can see the solder's completely covered the pad, it's completely covered the wire, but it's not too much solder, and it's nice and shiny, and it's not tarnished or oxidized. Look at these solder joints. That is disgusting. Look at that. That is not a proper solder joint. I could probably pull that. I'm not going to, because it'll probably break the pad. That could pull off. That's rubbish, and look at that. It's actually, the pad has actually lifted off the board slightly. That's where that resistor is. So I am going to have to literally wick all of that solder off and redo that whole lot. Another thing I'm going to do as well, while the cover's off, I'm actually going to get some alcohol and wipe all that thermal grease off of there and put some fresh thermal grease on that volt reg, because it's all gone everywhere and it's smudged half of it off. So I'm just going to replace it with some fresh stuff. But if that works, then that's pretty much job done. Right then, okay, got it platter back on, so here we go, moment of truth. There we go. Ta-da! Sorted. Oh, that electronic brake's a bit sharp now actually. It's might need readjusting now. But there you go. Problem solved. Right, tidy. The plane's going to go over and put me off now, thank you. Do you know, I've actually developed quite a hate for Rolls-Royce and General Electrics. Anyway, so there you go. Lesson well learnt the hard way. I think if you're going to buy a pair of second-hand Technics decks, take the little plastic cover off and double check that there's been no dodgy repairs, okay? These things are notoriously easy to repair when they go wrong. Sometimes they're easy to repair with just bodgy knock-up parts, so double check. So there you go, always be careful and wary when you're buying your turntables off of middle-aged, slightly overweight mobile DJs. Because, no, I'm joking, no offence, I'm joking. Right, anyway, so there you go, hope this video's been enlightening, not really a help because it doesn't help anyone, but just thought I'd show you, you know, just in case you're interested. People always ask me to do videos, down-to-earth videos, where I'm not actually doing anything, just want to see what I do. And this is the very many struggles in life that I have to go through on a day-to-day basis. So there you go. Thank you for watching. Nice one. Practice and enjoy. Can't find the bloody stop button. There it is.